Does smell nice. The Wacky World of Insane Crossovers. How long is this?
When I was a kid, I was obsessed with...
I like that. 12 minutes. That's exactly how long it should have been. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. You said I would have showed Shibuya a real incident. Whoa.
this web series called Super Mario Bros. Z, because it was like the only time that I got to see my goats Mario and Sonic in the same place without being force-fed a commercial for the Olympic Games, bro. I'm a Sonic fan. You think I give a shit about sports? I think there's like this innate caveman desire in all of us to just want to see like Timmy Turner and Jimmy Neutron or King Kong and Godzilla on screen at the same time. Which is why about like half of the entire internet is made up of crossover rap battles and smut fan fictions. But like now in a world with readily available Sonic Transformers and Skibbity Toilet Minecraft, the 50,000 Ezio and Hinata slash fics just don't hit the same when you can just squad them up in Fortnite now.
Yay! A crossover always brings out the best in each show! It certainly doesn't smack of desperation. The priorities are always creative and not driven by marketing
Okay, that's enough.
I mean, yeah, sometimes
you.
they do crossovers just for fun, but let's be honest, most of the time it's just trying to like trick you into watching something new. Like the time we got the long-awaited crossover special of Goku and Luffy that they had to share with some other guy just to gas up his new manga that just came out.
I can't move a muscle.
Yeah, same here.
I'm sure we
Joe
all wish we could go back to
Swanson.
when crossovers weren't
What
just
the
about
fuck?
forcibly selling you a product, you know, like the good old days when Superman met the Quick Bunny. And like, I'm not saying that just because it's trying to sell you on another show that it automatically makes it bad, you know. I think some of my favorite crossovers were like the commercial bumpers on channels like Cartoon Network, where you
Yes.
just got to see all your favorite shows just like
Yes,
doing
those were the best. The shit in Cartoon Network and like Nickelodeon, where like they would just have all the random cartoons just doing shit like in their day-to-day lives, like this shit with Johnny Bravo. Look at all of them in the movie theaters. Like look at Shaggy talking with Snoopy. That's not Snoopy. That's he talks like this. I forgot his name. That's not Snoopy. That's fucking fuck. I forgot his name. Droopy. Droopy. Then we got Ed and Dee Dee. We got He-Man with Fred Flintstone. Cow and Chicken. We got Johnny Bravo flirting with Fred Flintstone's, the Flintstone wives. Courage the Cowardly Dog sitting next to fucking Grimm. This is cool as shit. Elmer Fudd sitting next to Samurai Jack. And in front of them is Muriel and Eustace. Muriel looking pissed off that they're talking in the back with the Powerpuff Girls.
It were like the commercial
That's so
bumpers on
cool.
channels like Cartoon Network, where you just got to see all your favorite shows just like doing laundry together and shit.
Okay, do you understand the rules?
Yes.
I choose you. Go back.
I win.
Oh my god, bro.
I think the best kind of crossovers are the ones where they absolutely shouldn't be allowed anywhere near each other, like Abbott Elementary and Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where they meet up at a school despite the fact that this entire cast definitely shouldn't be let within like 100 feet of children. Or the cast of Phineas and Ferb meeting all your favorite Marvel heroes and an actual Nazi.
Aunt May, Phineas and Ferb are making a crossover.
Yeah, we are.
But it feels like we get a lot less like proper crossovers nowadays, because your favorite character is more likely going to show up in like a 2-second background cameo in some billion-dollar company's IP dick measuring contest, bragging about how they own your entire childhood. Obviously, if you're throwing in like 27 decades worth of characters into a 20-minute special, you're not going to have time to have anything other than like 2-second cameos. But I think I've seen it work in something like Disney's Chip and Dale movie, where they went the extra mile to populate its live-action cartoon hybrid world with like a billion different characters they don't own, with shit like the old f***ed-up Sonic design and 4chan's favorite gooning material, all of which was almost as ambitious of a crossover as me and this bag, because this video is brought to you by CyberGhost VPN, because I had to go to some real dark shit to find that Scooby-Doo WWE crossover, let me tell you. But like, you don't want your judgmental ass ISP to know that you spend all day watching kids cartoons as a man approaching his mid on any streaming dedicated servers for gaming, for streaming, and torrenting, which I would never do that. All of which work on all major systems like Windows, Mac, Android, and iOS, and you can use it on 7 devices at the same time. 14 hours of Scooby-Doo content, and now back to the video. Anyway, speaking of times where they crossed over things that literally had no reason to ever meet each other, there's the best episode of Supernatural, where Sam and Dean get sorta online into a Scooby-Doo episode and spend the entire time trying to plow Daphne.
Nice to meet you too.
Sam, Dean, this dog is talking.
Most of the special is kind of just them like sitting in the background and watching a Scooby-Doo episode, but I think my favorite part is that the Scooby Gang is like surprisingly chill with mutilated corpses.
That's not good.
But then somehow they top this when they cross them over with the WWE.
John Cena.
Whoa.
Okay.
which is almost as in touch with what modern kids are into as the WWE and Flintstones movie. I'm pretty sure like the only time any child in the last 15 years has seen Fred Flintstone would have been in the Simpsons Family Guy special, back when the Simpsons used to do crossovers for fun, and not just as soulless ads for Disney Plus, like their Mother's Day special that has the most unbelievably fucked up renditions of Disney characters I've seen in my entire life. And hey Lois, remember that time that Stewie was on Bones?
Is this man a complete dunce? Oh god.
And you know who else is in Family Guy? Beavis and Butthead, who just got added to Call of Duty as overpriced cosmetics.
Bro, what the fuck? They put these guys in COD?
In a game that is entirely in first person, so you can commit horrible war crimes alongside Skeletor and Homelander and Nicki Minaj. So now the game looks like fucking VR chat with guns, which as you can imagine, the COD
You could
community
be a Gundam?
is super happy about now that their gritty war simulator has the Ninja Turtles running
Shut up, bro. You could be Seth.
with AK-47s. But I live every day of my life knowing that I'm never going to be as happy as any kid that got to watch the live episode of Power Rangers where the bad guy summons the worst version of the Ninja Turtles. Because in the 4th episode of Power Rangers in Space that takes place on Earth, it has the Ninja Turtles getting brainwashed to capture the Rangers ship and deliver it to who I am choosing to believe is Destroyer from Godzilla. And even if Red spends the entire episode questioning the quality of the writing...
Hey, wait a minute, guys. Don't you think it's a little too coincidental that they showed up right when we needed them?
But everyone tells them to f*** off because they're too excited to team up with the Ninja Turtles, and then the rest of it plays out like 90% of team-ups on kids shows where they kick the shit out of each other, then they team up to pack up the bad guy, and then like any good crossover, never speak to each other ever again.
Hey, why didn't you pop your head in our sewer?
Sure. Yeah, we'd love to.
The Turtles have also met Sonic, who's met Hello Kitty, who's met Godzilla, who stars in a Nike commercial with Charles Barkley that was so good they turned it into a full comic where some random child gives him a magical coin that gives him the power to bowl on Godzilla. Why did Japan not try this? And because this one ends with them giving Godzilla giant f***ing Nikes, it automatically makes it better than the time Godzilla fought the Power Rangers and the Justice League and the Avengers, and also better than the time the Avengers fought the Titans from Attack on Titan, but not when they did a collab with KFC, which is surprisingly not the first time KFC's done that shit, because they once bankrolled their own line of Green Lantern comics about an evil Colonel Sanders called Colonel Sunder, who uses an army of underpaid high schoolers to rob banks across America, until he gets kidnapped by the Orange Lantern because he wants an infinite supply of Zinger burgers. And I think the best part about this comic is that I don't even have to make any jokes about it, because I could not come up with a funnier ending than the Colonel saving the day by literally handing him a job application. And that wasn't even the first time a fast food chain has bankrolled their own Justice League comic, because we also got Subway Presents Justice League, where every character is stuck in a hellish nightmare where they can speak exclusively in Raid Shadow Legends ad reads.
Can you read this out for me?
What?
This part here.
I don't know about any of this.
I'm glad you said Subway, Justin. I've been craving an oven-roasted chicken breast sandwich all day. Banana peppers, green peppers, oil and vinegar, all on honey oat bread. You can't beat that.
That's so good, but did you know that Subway, registered trademark, now has avocado? You can't beat the
Oh my god, super ad of death.
energizing turkey and bacon avocado on wheat.
Who are these people? Who are these men?
They're like fucking athletes or something. I don't know, because like the third
Like
one has...
real athletes?
Yeah. The third one has Michael Phelps in it, except he looks like that.
First comic to sell 0 issues, by the way. What the fuck? Who's buying this?
And it's not just the incredibly natural diegetic dialogue that's like this. The whole plot is about Green Lantern trying to stop Black Manta from stealing a $5 footlong. At the end of the second issue, Batman asks where they get their energy from, and you'll never fucking believe what these dudes say. Where do you get the energy to perform like that? I could always use a little extra stamina in my duties.
Avocados are a superfood and the fuel for the everyday hero, and Subway TM has such an amazing sandwich selection.
And of course, the only natural way for this to end was with a villain who's committed worse crimes than anyone in the entire DC universe, Jared Fogle, showing up and shaking hands with Superman while probably being very disappointed he wasn't teaming up with the Teen Titans.
Don't use your X-ray vision on...
Jared canonically shook hands with Superman? Oh, fuck.
My hard drive, Superman.
Now, you might be thinking that it couldn't possibly get any worse than this until you find out about the Batman FaZe Clan comic. And if you don't know who FaZe Clan is, that's good, because it means you're probably more than 10 years old. They're YouTubers, it's not important, don't worry about it. Because in this tragically one-issue long story, Batman has to go into the Riddler's VR world, and so he invites a bunch of fucking YouTubers into the Batcave to drop some of the hardest lines in comic history.
Did Batman really think a gamer could stop me?
This is a gamer issue. Batman's a dinosaur. What could he even do?
Honestly, FaZe Banks would say that to Batman's face, though. Actually, in character, they nailed that.
By the way, that so looks. I thought that was a very different flag when I looked at it.
That actually does not look great.
Oh, it ends with Batman becoming a gamer. They like get a friend request from Batman. It's so goated. Master Bruce, you haven't left the cave in days. Fuck off, Alfred. I'm playing Fortnite.
So yeah, whatever. Who cares about the people dying in the streets of Gotham? Better play Fortnite.
Man, fuck them. They got the police. They got the police for that.
Have crossed over so
I'm
many
playing
times
Call
that
of
they're
Duty.
basically part of the same universe at this point. But what you might not know is that like basically everyone in fiction has at one point fought a xenomorph, and you can be a predator in Call of Duty and in Minecraft, and most importantly Fortnite, along with Goku and Peter Griffin. And look, while we're on Fortnite, it depends on how you want to look at it, because like I totally get saying that Fortnite corporatizes the fun of crossovers, but it also lets you have Sabrina Carpenter and Fortnite Ninja hit the whip at a Martin Luther King rally while fighting Galactus with a Kamehameha and Among Us back bling. And ever since the early days of the game where you could turn into Thanos and fist half the map at once, every season of Fortnite has added like progressively more and more insane guest stars, to the point where like someone showing up at the game is less of like an event and more of just like a sign that there's a new movie coming out. I mean, you look at like any live service game now and you get flashbang with enough shit to look like a scene from Ready Player One. We're gonna be here for like the length of a Wendigoon video if I had to go through all of the infinitely spawning platform fighters like Multiverses or Brawlhalla that spends all of their loot box revenue on licensing out like Rayman, John Cena, Hellboy, Ben 10, Adventure Time, SpongeBob, G.I. Joe, Halo, and of course the fucking TMNT that suck my dick and balls Smash Bros. Or overpriced guest characters like Omni-Man and Homelander in Mortal Kombat, or Mario shooting
He's
hoops
sucking
in NBA
on
Jam.
that.
There are so many of these games that I've never heard of in my life. Like, who out here has played Nick Race's Revolution 3D that has SpongeBob and Aang racing alongside the most cooked models of iCarly ever created? Speaking of iCarly, remember that time that Rick Harrison from Pawn Stars showed up?
Whoa, no way, you guys. iCarly.
Oh my god.
Holy chiz, I love iCarly.
And I love that you can tell it's a Nickelodeon show straight away because the first thing they did was make the Pawn Star guys get their dogs out. Which then takes us to maybe the greatest crossover of all time, where the Smurfs,
I didn't
Alf,
remember that
Alvin and the
episode.
Chipmunks, Bugs Bunny, Winnie the Pooh, Kermit the Frog, Slimer from Ghostbusters, Garfield, and specifically Michelangelo all team up to defeat the most dangerous threat in the multiverse.
What's that funny smell? I hate to suggest this, but my guess would be marijuana.
Because before VR chat and DeviantArt, the only time you were ever going to see all of these guys in the same place was in an anti-drug PSA about a kid named Michael who steals his 5-year-old sister's money to buy drugs. That's so important it brings her thousands of dollars of cartoon merch to life so they can team up to bully a drug-addicted child for 26 minutes.
If everyone was jumping off a cliff, would you go too? I guess you would. Not very bright. Definitely not one of the world's foremost thinkers.
Man, shut your bitch ass.
Even if at the beginning of the special you see them all come to life in her room, Bugs Bunny just shows up randomly later, so he's just like a real dude, I guess.
What's this?
Yo, thank you. Thank you, Mento.
A joint?
And like, I don't know how effective this would have been at stopping kids from doing drugs, but I can tell you that if Optimus Prime manifested out of nowhere and called me a pussy for doing meth, I would never touch that shit again in my life.
There's nothing cool about a fool on
Thank you,
drugs.
Mento.
Yeah, you're excellent just the way you are. Without drugs.
Anyway, don't forget to hit up the description to get 84% off your CyberGhost VPN offer that protects your data and gives you access to geo-restricted
84%
content.
off. Jesus Christ. Damn, don't do drugs, kids.